Today we'll be talking about a movie that was recently released by Love Media Story, and the title of the movie is Tehilah. I watched the movie yesterday, and I was glad I did. It's the first time I'm watching any Nigerian movie that directly dealt with infertility, especially in the line of surrogacy and egg donor. Tehilah is a movie that was produced by Love Media Story, and it talked about a couple, Kwame and Olivia, who were trying to conceive. They've been trying to conceive for 7 years. They've done 4 IVFs. Unfortunately, the 4 IVF, the procedures all failed. So they had reached the point where the doctor suggested that they should use egg donor, and the wife wouldn't hear of it. She was, in her opinion, she figured, why would they go through the route of egg donor? Why wouldn't they go through the route of a sperm donor? And of course, the husband, from what I saw in the video, he wasn't so open to the sperm donor thing. Though he didn't say no, he just was standing on the fact that the doctor said they should do egg donor, then that should be what they should try. And the wife was like, okay, why didn't the doctor suggest that we should use sperm donor? And in her opinion, her husband was being selfish, because I think a part she mentioned something like, oh, so you want to get your side chick to have a baby for us, and I will raise the baby and all of that. Anyway, that's not really what I want to discuss, because in the movie, while watching the movie, 3 things stood out for me. I'm going to talk about these 3 things. Number 1 thing that stood out for me was when she was discussing with her friend Ronke, and Ronke, she was trying to point out to Ronke that her husband was being selfish, why would her husband agree for them to use egg donor, that he was being selfish, and that he's trying to make it look like it was his fault, that it was her fault rather, that they've not yet had a baby. And also she was lashing at her husband, and her friend Ronke said, no, it's not Kwame's problem. It's not Kwame's fault. So she paused and said, so do you think it's my fault? Do you think it's my problem? Do you think I'm the one at fault here? And the friend said, no, it's not your fault either. She said, so whose fault is it? The friend now said, it's the fault of the 4 failed cycles. It's true. The reason why a couple who are trying to conceive, who were madly in love with each other, but suddenly they're on each other's truth, is because of the problem they're facing. The failed cycles, the trying to do Billings method and it's not working, the follicular tracking, everything they're trying to do, but it wasn't working, could put a strain on their relationship. Serious strain. It could get to the point where they begin to question each other. I mean, in that movie, she was straight, okay, if instead of me to do egg donor, let's divorce. It's not working. Let's call off this marriage. You know, so infertility, walking through infertility, trying to conceive, can seriously put a strain on any relationship. If you're not careful, it could actually lead to the end of the relationship because of so many things. Emotional roller coaster, the guilt, the grief, the not understanding what is happening, the blame, everything could actually lead to the breakup of any relationship if you're not careful. So what's my take on this? During my time, I faced all of this. I faced the emotional roller coaster. I cried. When a cycle fails, the first thing that will hit you is confusion. Why? Why did this cycle fail? What did I do wrong? What happened? Did I not take my injection at the right time? If unfortunately for you, there was a time maybe in the cycle, they usually advise that you follow a routine. So if you're taking the injection by 10 o'clock, stick to 10 o'clock. If for some very crazy reason, maybe you missed taking the injection by 10 o'clock, instead you took it by 10, quarter past 10 or 10 minutes past 10 or even 11 o'clock, hey, and then the cycle fails, you hold on to that. Okay, because of that, because of this injection, I didn't take it at so when I was supposed to take it, I failed. That is me. There was a particular day in one of my cycles, I was supposed to be traveling. So I had packed the injection and I was flying. So I had to tell the check-in counter people that I needed to take this injection on me into the flight. So they took it from me and said they were going to give it to one of the flight attendants. Imagine if maybe for some reason they had told me that they did not, the injection, they failed to take it on board and all that. I would have probably blamed myself that it was my fault or it was that particular thing that made me not to have a failed cycle. So first of all, the confusion, the blame, then you will not go into the stage of grief. You will grieve, you will cry. You will cry. That's when it dawns on you that truly, truly this cycle has failed. You will cry. Then you will not get to the point of anger. Why did it fail? You will be angry at God. First of all, you'll be angry at God. You'll be angry at your womb. You'll be angry at your body. You'll be angry at your husband. You'll be angry at your eggs. You'll be angry at everything you'll be angry at for the fact that your cycle failed. Then you will not get to the point of meltdown. So the anger, the confusion, the grief, the anger, the meltdown, where you are like, you will cry, you will laugh, you will scream, you will pull at your hair, you will shout and snap at people around you. So all of this happens. But one thing that helped me while I was trying to conceive, or when I was actively trying to conceive, was I had to tell myself that it's not my fault. I had to get to that point where there's really nothing I can do. I can't lose the pregnancy or supposed pregnancy, at the same time lose my peace. So I started learning how to, okay, it has happened, there's nothing I can do. Dust yourself and try again. Of course, I'll go through those 4 stages I had mentioned. I'll go through them. Then after, I'll now tell myself, you have to try again. If there's anything you think you didn't do well, do better this time. Eat better. I take things in my stride. I do one day at a time. So I never really passed on my anger or my confusion, my frustration to my husband or any other person. Instead, I actually passed most of those things on to myself by screaming, crying, hitting my head, pulling my hair, but I try not to pass it on to any other person. I think I must have mentioned this in my previous episodes, where I told myself that no other person can bear this pain better than I can. So I used to carry everything on myself, and I never really passed on the blame or passed on the anger, transfer the anger to any other person. I kind of managed to contain all by myself over the years that I was trying to conceive. The second thing that I got from that movie was when she finally met her sister, and she made a statement. She said something like, everybody thought I was trying to conceive. Everybody thought I had been trying for this 7 years, but the truth was I wasn't trying because I was afraid. The first time I conceived, the first time I got pregnant, I lost everything. So somehow that fear had held her down. Many people might not have noticed that, but I noticed it because the truth was that she was the one that kept herself from conceiving. I mean, we could see once she forgave herself, sought for God's forgiveness, prayed that her parents would forgive her, and she conceived without doing anything. She didn't even need assistance to conceive from that movie. And the truth is, sometimes recurring trauma could keep you from moving forward. If you had had a traumatic experience in the past, it could keep you from moving forward. Maybe when you went for an assisted abortion, you hated yourself for it. Or maybe there was something that happened and you felt bad about it. Guilt can stop you from moving forward. Medically, it's been proven that recurring traumatic experience, or having had a traumatic experience in the past in a particular area, could stop someone from moving forward. So in her Olivia's case, it was a case of the fear of losing everything kept her bound. So if there is anything that, think about it, anything in your past that still makes you feel guilty, that you've not actually forgiven yourself over, or miscarriage, abortion, threatened abortion that eventually led to a miscarriage, all of these fears could stop one from opening themselves up to another pregnancy. Though people might see them actively trying to conceive, but deep down in their heart, they are still afraid. They've not let go. And that fear cripples them. The fear, the guilt cripples them. And directly or indirectly, it kind of keeps them down from moving forward, from conceiving, or from any other thing. This can actually, it can apply to any other area of our lives, seriously. So if there is anything, search deep down in your heart. If there is anything you think might be keeping you down, forgive yourself, move forward, and go ahead and try to conceive again. There is nothing you do in this life that cannot be forgiven. Anything can be forgiven. God is merciful. His goodness abounds. The fact that you lost a pregnancy after carrying the pregnancy for 9 months is not your fault, so stop blaming yourself for it. There is nothing that you could have done to make it any better. It was meant to happen. It might have been meant to happen. So let it go. Stop feeling guilty. Stop holding yourself bound by it. Please, let it go. Like Olivia did in Tehilah. Let it go. Please. The third thing I saw from that movie that I would like to mention here is surrogacy and egg donor. If you have tried and tried and tried everything you can do and you can afford it, please go for donor. Go down the donor route. There is egg donor services, there is sperm donor services, and there is surrogacy. God has made those procedures possible for us, and don't feel guilty about it. Whichever one could be the problem, if it's male factor of infertility, go for sperm donor. If it is female factor infertility that cannot be treated except you go for egg donor, then go for egg donation. If it's the fact that you seem to be having failed IVF or failed implantation, you tend to have eggs, you have good sperms, but for some reason you're unable to carry the pregnancy when there's a transplant, then try surrogacy. You can use known surrogate, or you can also use unknown surrogate. I don't know how that works, but there is a procedure called surrogacy. It's a service that is available in Nigeria. In Tehilah, Naomi, Olivia's sister, offered to donate her egg and also offered to carry the pregnancy. But what I advise, if you can, if you will, if you're going through the donation route, please try to get details of your donors. I know that they shy away from such things in Nigeria. The last episode I filmed before this one, I talked about egg donation and the fact that I think they should be properly regulated in this country. Okay, you can check out that. My last episode here, and then watch it and see what my take on egg donation. And the same thing applies. I think for the sake to prevent inbreed situations, you should know who your donors are, but it will be it sperm or egg. You should know who they are. You should at least have details of them. Even if you don't see them physically, try to get their details for future reference if need be. Okay? So this is the end of today's episode. I was only trying to talk about what I got from Tehilah and just give my take on them. It was a nice movie. I did learn one or two things from it. And like seriously, I actually didn't know that a traumatic event in your past could have caused you not to conceive if you don't let go of it. So have a good day. God bless you. Bye.